Hello, this is... I know this has been done before, so I wanted to do it because no one's watching my other video, and I'm panicking. So I am ranking not only King Gizzard but also Swans, and their side projects I'll get to in a second. And that's really it. No script, just improv. I hope you like this. And for King Gizzard, the first one will be 12 Bar Brews from 2012. It's alright. I know two good from this, you know, elbows, and I quite like to dance to it in public, but you know, and uh-oh, I called him mum is very nice as well. I love the lyrics in this as well. It's from a period of time where they're like, they weren't very lyrically deep like now. And I think one of the songs is just oh for the entire thing, and I don't know which song, so I'm gonna put this in B. You know, as a sort of like a thing to go up or below to. And this second album, Hours Like the Sky from 2013. I don't like this one. I think this is my only one I don't like because I'm not super into spoken word albums like American Prayer by The Doors. And the music behind it is just really repetitive. I just cannot concentrate on this one, so it's my least favourite album, so yeah. And the third one, Flow Along Feel Your Lungs. This album is known for the 16-minute Hell on Pill, which I love that track to death. I think it's very good. Overall this is just amazing track. But if we take that track away, I don't remember anything else except for the title track at the very end. And that's all I remember. I do consider this to be particularly rememberable. So I'm going to put it above 12 Bar Brews, but in the same tier. And also I'm going to say what they did for the album. So they did like a With You Without You for the album, you know, that Beatles track. And the fourth album, Oddments. This is basically from their tracks from their album didn't fit on these albums. Sky's not really included. I say it again, it's alright. Yeah, it's like, I know some tracks, you know, Sleepwalker's really good. I kind of like the little track interludes, like the guitar track had A, B, A, C, D, I think it is. Which, from learning, research, is that it's for a theme song to a show, which I quite like. So, and the other tracks I don't really remember. Like everyone likes work this time, which I don't get because I don't really remember the one that well. And now we get into the good stuff with Your Mind Fuzz. This track has so many good ones, like the medley, Saint Speeds Up, Hot Water. It's all really good. Although I do think Slow Jam 2 with Her and I, it's also known as, is it's a little long, but other than that it's really good. It's been an A. And this one is Quarters, their jazz rock album, which they made 4 tracks, each 10 minutes and 10 seconds long. The opening track, The River, is one of my all-time favourites from this band. While the others I don't really remember all that well. Like, that's all I have, so I'm going to put an A, but that's for the first track alone, and that's it. And this one, Paper Mache Dream Balloon, one of their first soft rock albums. We'll see them all later down the line. And this one I quite like. Reminds me of like some of the more laid-back acoustic tracks from the White Album of the Beatles, or something similar to that. You know, Rocky Raccoon and Blackbird, sort of like that. I don't remember too much from this. I used to really like the opening track Sense, but that's kind of gone from my mind. The one track I do remember is Trapdoor, which always makes me think of as a theme song to like a show from CBeebies for some reason. I don't know why. And Trapdoor's really good, but other than that, I don't remember anything from this album, so I guess I could put it at the top of B. That might ruffle a few feathers, but I don't care. It's my opinion. Okay. And next one, this is classic, Nonagon Infinity. The never-ending album, some people call it. what have I got to say? It's a fucking classic. Like I love every single track, except for maybe Evil Death Rock was a little long. Other than that, this album was like an amazing rock album from today. I know many people are gonna be wanting to kill me for saying this, but this goes on top. Well, not on top, but this is on par with many classics from the 70s. Like many. I wouldn't say all, but many. It's on par with that. And their first album of 5 from 2017, Flying Microtonal Banana, their first of 3 albums into the microtoning things. Here's a microtonal guitar if you want to grip on what that looks like. This has I think their most popular song, Rattlesnake, which I think is quite a good song. This also has quite good songs in here, like Nuclear Fusion and something about melting things. I forgot the name of it. For fuck's sake. I wouldn't say it's as good as Nonagon Affinity or I Like Your Mind Fuzz, but I'm gonna put it in A because I think those 2 tracks are amazing. And the second one, Murder of the Universe, I'm torn between putting A and S, because what this album is like 3 stories. It has like 3 stories. All of them are quite good, but they're not like 3 giant tracks. They're segmented into many different ones. I'm like, why? I know. So, okay, for now I'm gonna put it in A. But it might change as we go along. I'm not sure. Third album, 2017. What's this? The Mild High Club album. I forgot the name of it. Fuck's sake. This is, I believe this is their second of their soft rock sort of albums. This along with their first 4 albums, I don't remember much from this. Like, I remember Tezetta and Countdown, but that's really it. And there's a ton of interludes in there which I don't think really belong there, so that kind of ranks it down a bit. That was it. And a good few people know about this. Polygon Wonderland. This has the absolute classic Crumbling Castle, an amazing 10-minute masterpiece. It also has like 2 good melodies in there, like the what I call the Loyalty trilogy, which goes from I think Horology, something, and then Loyalty. I've forgotten the track listing. I need to. But with this track's along, it belongs in S. It needs to, because of Crumbling Castle on the other tracks on the other sides of the album. Plus, they gave this away for free, and it is not copyrighted. I mean, in the traditional sense of copyright. This is free to bootleg, so you can do that, which is amazing. And their final album, released on New Year's Eve 2017, Gumboot Soup, which is like Oddments but better. Has really good songs in here, like Beginner's Luck and Superposition and other ones like that. I don't remember much else, but it has a lot better songs than these right here, so I'm going to put it at the top of B. But I might go to A, but I'm not sure. And then we have The Long Way in 2018, and then eventually we got Fishing for Fishies. I wouldn't consider this their soft rock, another soft rock album, because it eventually goes to the mostly electronic song Side Boogie. But the tracks in here are really good. I really like the title track and Side Boogie, and I also like the Cruel Millennial and the Plastic Boogie as well. It has a lot of great tracks. I'm going to put this at the bottom of A. This is really good. And again, 2019, the first metal album, Infest the Rat's Nest. This is just amazing. I love this album. I love to think this is as a concept album, which it begins in like where climate change has basically become overrun, and eventually everyone gets sent to hell, goes to Venus as like one giant concept album. Even though it's technically side B of the album, and it also has like clear inspirations from like Metallica and other metal bands, but it's not like copying them. So if there's any metal purists out there, you give this one a listen. if you don't like metal today, give this one a listen. Just I think we'll quite like it. And now we have the second volume of Microtonal albums, KG. It's alright. Like, it's alright. I like Automation, but other than that, I don't really have that much feelings for it, putting that one in C tier. I just don't remember anything about it except for Automation, and the fact like there's a accepted this album using this album as a beginning, and that's it. It's not like I was like this guy where I remember absolutely nothing from it. And the third volume of Microtonal Tuning is LW, which ties into this one, of course. This one's a bit better, but not by much. It does have great tracks like 1 and the title track, which is really weird because it also appears on here. I mean, I remember a few tracks from this album, but I do consider it a tiny bit better than KG. Probably because the title track KGLW is like a stoner rock album, stoner rock song, my mistake, that people wanted to hear from again like since this album was released. So yeah, and their only synth pop, dream pop sort of record, Butterfly 3000. This I really like this album. At first I was kind of embarrassed to play it because people think I was a sissy. I'm sorry, I might cut that. But this I like a lot of tracks in here, like He's Yours, Shanghai, Catching Smoke, and the title track at the very end. All very nice. I'm gonna put them top of A. I like it. I haven't listened to the remix Butterfly 3001. But it has intrigued me when the Flaming Lips have done one of the tracks off this album, which personally is perspective in my mind. And the next one, their first album in 2022, Made in Timeland. This one has a bit of a story. So this was never originally to be widely released, but on a vinyl only at a festival called Timeland. But it got cancelled due to COVID, and they had to release it in 2022 to the amount of leaks that of this album made online. And I say, I'm gonna put it down here because I remember Stu rapping on the second track, but it takes like 7 minutes to get to that point. At that point, I was already out of it. And the first track I wasn't too into either. So yeah, putting it to D there. And the only next up, their White album, as some people might say, Omnium Gatherum. I love this album. Murder of the Universe, I'm torn between putting S and A because it has so many good tracks. Like the 80-minute masterpiece Dripping Tap I think is one of the best modern prog rock songs I've ever heard. And I don't really listen to modern prog rock because so many of the classics are from like the 70s or 80s. And some other amazing songs here like Magenta Mountain, the 2 rap songs on this, Sadie Sorceress and the Grim Reaper, and Predator X is a really good metal song as well. But the other, and Evilest Man is a really good song as well. But the other tracks don't really stand out much, so I'm gonna put on a bar of S just for the Dripping Tap alone. It's just an amazing song. The next one, Eyes, Death, Planets, Lava, Mushrooms, and Lava. Whatever the name is. Sorry. This is a fan favourite for many. I'm not too fond of this one, sadly. I do really like the tracks Lava and Ice 5. I thought those were quite enjoyable, but the other tracks, I was just out of it. Because at the time, I wasn't really, I didn't pick up at the gimmick at all a lot later. So I'm going to put it in A. It's good, but only the 2 tracks really stand out to me. Okay, this might be my favourite album from them, Laminated Denim. For the first track of this is the sister album to Made in Timeland. 2 songs, 15 minutes long. So I wasn't too fond of the first track, The Land Before Timeland, which I thought was okay. I then heard High Potential, a fucking masterpiece. How is no one loving this more? Like, Hypertension is a masterpiece. If you haven't listened to Laminated Denim, it's an amazing album. Actually, yeah, I'm torn between these two. I don't know. And the last album, 2022, Changes. This one, by far, in my eyes, is the most impressive album. But this was originally supposed to be the final album 2017, but was shelved because it was so close to the end of the year. I quite like the title, the track Change, about how saying, you know, we can change, right? How we dislike change for some reason. The other tracks in here are quite cool too, like Exploding Songs and AstroTurf, and I Hate Dancing, which is probably one of the best songs lyrically I've ever heard. I'm gonna put an A below Birthright 3000, but I might warm onto it over the years, but yeah. Okay, next up we have Draconic Apocalypse, or The Dawn of Eternal Night, and Annihilation of Planet Earth, and the album's long, title is long, but most people call it Draconic Apocalypse. So this is their second metal album, in which they get a little more experimental, most tracks going above 5 minutes, and still having a more gravelly voice. And I think throating is in this as well, like much like Murder of the Universe. I love Motor. This album is great. Motor Spirit is an amazing track. So is Flamethrower. The other tracks don't really speak to me, but Gila Monster is I thought was quite good, a quite catchy metal track. I'm gonna put this above Omnium Gatherum, because yeah. Next up is the Silver Chord. This is, people are not too fond of this one. I think the reason why is because there's two versions of this. There's a short 28-minute version and a longer 88-minute version. I guess people were torn on which one do you choose. But in my mind, I think the one reason they might do this is like a pick and choose. Is like, oh, do you want a shorter or do you want a longer to be built up into something great? In which sometimes it's better, like Thea. I really like the extended mix of Thea, where she calls back to Motor Spirit, and the extended version of Extinction, which comes back to Flamethrower. Or sometimes I like a song shorter, like Set and Gilgamesh. Other than that, I quite like it. I'm going to put in here, because yeah, I like. Yeah. The first, okay, these two are kind of similar, but this one, Flight B741. This is another soft rock album, in which one problem I have with it could be like a pet peeve or something, but this one and this one, Phantom Island, is mixed so quietly. I'll put in like an example in the video itself, but this is arena so quietly. I have to literally turn the volume up when I first heard it. But other than that, I think it's quite a good album. I quite liked Antarctica and Daily Blues. I mean, I don't consider the other tracks memorable other than those two, but I consider it's quite good. I'm gonna put in, I think it deserves to be in I think above Ice Planet Death, Mushrooms and Lava. Yeah. And the most recent album, Phantom Island, which is basically the same as Flight B741 but with an orchestra behind it, which is even going to feature in some of their live performances, which I think is quite nice. This I'm going to put it in. I'm going to put it in the top of 8 tier. The track's a lot more memorable. I love the title track of Dead Stick, and I think the third single, Grow Wings and Fly, which was also quite a good track, and it also has two space tracks in there, like, you know, Space Sick, and the other one, which I quite like in my point of view because I love space, like Markiplier. And so yeah, that's my tier list for King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I hope you like it. Hello, this is me a few days later for the Swans tier list. You might, as you can see, there's a few other bands here, but I'll explain it as I go along. So, we start off in 1982 with the self-titled EP, the Swans, which I think this is a fan favorite for many people from the early no wave days. I really like the tracks Take Advantage and Laugh. I'm not a fan of the other two though, especially Sensitive Skin. But I think the other two tracks stands out enough to be in a sort of middle in the road. So I'm gonna put in C. You know, middle of the road, nice little thing, yeah. And a year after, they released their album Filth, their debut album. It has some of the most famous tracks from their early days, such as Stay Here, Power for Power, and Right Wrong. I actually quite like tracks like Stay Here, Big Strong Boss, and Freak, especially Freak because of how, like, unrelenting it is over its, like, 90-second length, that song. Although I'm not a fan of some of the other lengths, like Power for Power being over 6 minutes. I don't think it needs to be that long. You switch it up a bit. But other than that, I think it is slightly... I think it's on the same ground as the original EP, but it's because this is shorter and has a more Joy Division influence, so I'm going to put it slightly above. Young God EP, I hate this one. I remember also none of the tracks except for I Crawled, but that's only because of the Future Live renditions on the Future Live albums. Most notably on Swans Are Dead, which I'll be talking about later. And also, if you have a track called Raping a Slave, it's like, come on. Next we have their second album, Cop, which is a lot more dirty and repetitive. I think I only remember one track, and that is Half-Life, the opener. I think it's quite good. But other than that, I remember absolutely nothing. I think I'm gonna put in D. I am definitely gonna anger some fans from these placements. Yeah, these three are definitely a fan favorites. And now we have their first live album, Real Love, which originally was released as an official bootleg. Before it was re-released in '96. This covers their tour for Greed and Honey Money. I like some of the renditions on there, like for Coward and Hanging. I think it is slightly better than Filth, but below the original EP. So yeah, I think I have heard the Time Is Money Bastard EP, and I did not like it. So I don't know whether to put an F or D, but I'm gonna put it the top of F tier because I do not like any of the tracks. Actually, it's the bottom F tier. I remember absolutely nothing from it because at least with the Young God EP, I remember I Crawled, but I remember nothing from the CP, so it can go fuck itself. Next, we have their third album, Greed. Many fans say this is their least favorite album, and I kind of get why. It's I don't remember much from this album. I quite like Money Is Flesh and Full especially. But other than that, that's really all I care to remember. So I'm gonna put on the top of D tier, slightly better than Cop. No one's good as Filth, you know. All right, second live album, first real live album, like official live album. Public Castration Is a Good Idea. I used to hate this album's guts, but now re-listening to some of the tracks like For a Coward and a Hanging, I actually quite like some of the live renditions, especially a Hanging, like being absolutely relentless of Giraffe screaming the lyrics, and like basically the instruments being destroyed while they're being played. And also the quality is quite low, which might be a deal breaker for some people, but I think it adds to the overall, like, just absolute anger and unfiltered rage in the live album. I think it's quite nice. Right, their fourth album, Holy Money, which is a sister album to Greed, has like 2 reworks for Money Is Flesh and Full. I do like the added drums on Full 2, I don't think it can really match to the original full, where it's just a piano and Girard singing. I quite like Coward and a Screw, but that's really it. That's really it. Wait, it's okay. It's gonna be with Greed in the detail. Okay, this one I haven't heard. But this is the only significance I have from this is it has Jarbo's first track on this thing, Blackmail, which later appears on Children of God. And now we are on to our first album, not by Swans. It's called Blood, Women, Roses by World of Skin, or Skin, which is like Michael Gira's solo album Drainland, but with Jarbo's songs included as well. That's what I can get from listening to tracks like Still a Child of 1000 Years. So yeah, I might check them out someday, but they're kind of hard to find because they're not on streaming services and they're quite obscure. Next album, definitely one of the most acclaimed albums, Children of God. It's like what they did for Filth and I guess Greed, and made it a lot more like accessible. Like, I remember a good few tracks in this, like New Mind, Sex God Sex, Real Love, Blind Love. Like, those are all really good tracks. Especially like the song Real Love. I never entirely got the love for Blind Love. I always thought it was a little bit worse than Real Love, but I'm gonna put it above. Actually, it's gonna be an A tier. I like this album. I like it. And then we have this live album counterpart, Feel Good Now. I like some of the live renditions on there, like New Mind and Real Love. But the live version of Blind Love, does it really need to be 18 minutes? 18 minutes? I mean, I don't mind a long song at all. But really? I'm gonna put here. Oh, here. I just feel nothing for this album. Right. Second Skin album. I forgot the title of it, so I haven't listened to most one either, so I'll just put it here. Right, this one is an interesting one. The Love Will Tear Us Apart EP, which usually focuses around their cover of the Joy Division song of the same name. But this has two releases from it. There's a red version which contains a cover of Michael Girard singing it, and a black version which contains Jarbo singing it, and a lot less instrumentation. I prefer the red version, and also the other three tracks are tracks from Children of God. So I'm gonna put in like the top of B tier, just because I like the tracks. But other than that, it's kind of like nothing to me. And here we go. Here's a controversial album from their catalog, The Burning World, which is basically like an indie folk album. I've heard of people that really do not like this record because there's nothing from their other releases. I kind of get why, but the tracks are actually quite good. I quite like the opening track, The River That Runs With Love Will Not Dry, and Let It Come Down, and God Damn the Sun. God Damn the Sun is all-time favourite of mine because it's one of the few tracks that actually makes me want to cry. I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers. We're going to put it into B tier, the top of B tier, and we'll stay there right there for the entire rest of this video. Third Skin album, 10 Songs from Another World. Haven't listened to that one, but I've heard that's their best album, so yeah. Alright, Anonymous Bodies from the Empty Room. This is documentation of The Burning World tour, which has not really good versions of Let It Come Down, and it also has tracks from the upcoming album Wildlife from the Math of Infinity. I mean, that's really all it has. I would definitely recommend this version, the live version, Let It Come Down, because it's more like the mix of Children of God and the Love Will Tear Us Apart EP. But that's really it, so I'm gonna put it here. Yeah. And this is definitely one of my favourites. White Light from the Mouth of Infinity. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Swans, and I totally get why. But if I have to show them what each album in sequence, this will be the very first album, because not only is it quite accessible as an indie folk record, the tracks are really, really good, and it still has the Swan feel of making you feel uneasy every single step of the way. And by the way, It also contains the single Blind, but I don't know why, because it wasn't even released on the album originally, but hey ho, it's a great track anyway. Actually, I'm going to put this in... I'm going to put an A, but I might change. This one I haven't heard, but this is like a documentation of like different rarities from their, I think it was A4 to A6 period in their career. I'm scared of this one because it has like a 9-minute version of Job, which I don't think I'm ready for that mentally. And up next we have their 92 album, Love of Life, which is the sister to Wildlife in the Mouth of Infinity. I quite like this album now because I've heard the title track, No Cure for the Lonely, and the intro tracks are quite an interesting idea, but it kind of add nothing to the album for me. I think it belongs in the bottom B tier, so everything else will be in between that one and this one. Another live album, Omniscience. I quite like some of the versions of the tracks in here, like Mother's Milk and Love of Life. But I think it's only slightly worse than Love of Life. Yeah. The early Swans live albums don't really do much for me. And here's another interesting one. This is Kill the Child, which is technically one track of like different songs from that period, including excerpt of Money is Flesh from Greed. The first track for Like a Drug is like really good. Like, I think this is the best version of it out there. But after that, it just doesn't really do anything. If it was all like the opening for this album, like a drug, and if it wasn't one track, I'll probably put in probably a B somewhere, but I'm gonna put in like the top of D. Yeah, there. It'll be good. Alright, now we get into the good stuff with The Great Annihilator. I just have to say, it's so good. I Am the Sun, Mother Father, Celebrity Lifestyle, like, come on. Although I do agree some of the stuff from the second disc, at least on the vinyl pressings, are a little lackluster, but it has a few Swans classics, like I've said before, that will appear on their live albums from their original run. And then we have two interesting albums here. The first of these is Drainland, the only official sort of commercially released, permanently sort of Michael Girard solo record, Drainland. The original home for Blind, which will later appear on Wildlife in the Mouth of Infinity because it was in the same sessions. Don't really feel anything for this. Like, see, like, it does nothing for me. Sacrificial Cake, I have not heard, but it is important to the discography because will later appear on albums, like versions of the tracks from this album will appear on this one, and this one. And just how I was going to say, we're on to their EP, in quote, Dear to Zoo, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which is basically an EP to lead up to soundtracks to Blind. It's alright, I'll probably put it top of A, above Wildlife in the Mouth of Infinity. I quite like the version of the tracks on there, but I don't think it compares to the tracks on soundtracks to the Blind, which were released this same year. And yeah, soundtracks to the Blind. I know it's a generic opinion, but come on, like, Helpless Child and the sound is a masterpiece. I also quite like the song I Was Present in Your Skull, and how it makes you really feel really uneasy. The sort of the facade of the EDM track Volcano, as well as the utter primal screams that can be heard on The Final Sacrifice and YRP, which appears on Cop, which was remade for this album for some reason. Just overall an amazing album. I do recommend it, but maybe not all in one go, maybe one disc at a time. And now it probably would have been their final release, Swans Are Dead, live 95 to 97. It's better than soundtracks of Blood. I know it's going to anger some people, but I think some of the tracks, especially on the Black Disc, are like probably one of the best live live performances of songs I've ever heard, especially Feel Happiness, I Crawled, and Blood Promise. The Why Disc isn't as good, but it has really good live musicians of YRP, ran into YRPRP, and Helpless Child. And this is the original run for Swans, or this. This is Michael Girard's first solo project, The Body Lovers, number 1 of 3, which is the first song for the Body Lovers project. It also contains the longest song I've ever heard, which is like an hour 30 minutes. I know. It's actually I think this is a bit overrated, because like people say it's like bloody amazing, like it's like a sister to Soundtrack to Blind. Some people say. I just think it's a little bit boring, honestly. Like it feels like an hour long, just that, like the length of Dope Smoker. I would dig this more, but hour 30 minutes is just a little too much for me. And this is the sister project of the Body Lovers, the Body Haters, 3413. I haven't heard it, but from what I've heard, it's not that great, so I'm probably not going to listen to this anytime soon. And now we get into the Angels of Light, which is Michael Girard's side project to what Swans would be in like 2010 onwards, with New Mother. It has really good tracks on there, like Praise Your Name, the band's title track, and there was another one. I don't know, but it has a lot of good tracks on there. Man with a Silver Tongue, I think it's quite good as well, so I'm probably going to put the top B above The Burning World. I think it does the sound of this a lot better, along with all the Angels of the Light catalogue. And this is the second album, How I Loved You, which I think is going to be an S. Probably the top of A. Tracks like Evangeline, New York City in the Future, and Two Women are like amazing tracks. And the other tracks are quite good, like Public Embarrassment Blues and My Suicide. And it probably has one of the darkest tracks I've ever heard, called My True Body. I'm not going to describe what it means here, but if you look up the Genius page and read the annotation, it is like... I was blown away when I first read those annotations. I was like, what the fuck? This is a side project by Michael Girard and Dave Matz. I don't know what he does, but this is what they did together for 2001. Honestly, I remember absolutely nothing from this album. This was like Drainland. I remember Blind and Now You See Me. No, Now You've Seen Through Me. But this I remember absolutely nothing. The third Angels of the Light album, Everything Is Good Here, Please Come Home. It's not as good as the other two. I'm probably going to put here, because I remember nothing from this as well. Palisades maybe, but nothing's ringing a bell. Alright, this is Angels of Light Seeing Other People. No. The Angels of Light after their first album, so just didn't do anything for me. This is their fourth album is a collaboration with Akron Family. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've only heard like the last 4 tracks were by the Angels of Light, the rest are by Akron Family, and they're quite good. I like their cover of Mother Father, and that's the only song I really like from this part of the album so far. I'm not looking to listen to Akron Family yet. I'm currently going through other bands I want to try go through. And after that, they released We Are Him in 2007. I think this is like a huge improvement from Seeing Other People. I think we should go in the top of 8 here. Black River song's quite good. The title track, Not Here, Not Now. I like one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best songs in the Angels of Light entire catalog. And yeah, waiting 3 years, we got the comeback album, My Father Will Guide Me Up a Rope to the Sky. Honestly, this one really surprised me. I'm going to put it better than The Great Annihilator. This album surprised me. Track after track was like really, really good. I particularly like no thoughts, no words. Really realizing inside my other line, you fucking people make me sick. I think this is like almost all killer, no filler. And it gets better than this. Okay, this one hasn't heard, but it has like home recordings and stuff on it. I don't know about that one. And our first fundraiser, well, second one fundraiser album, but this is We Rose From Your Bed With the Sun on Our Head. Yeah, this has so many good versions of tracks. Like, I really like their version of Beautiful Child, The Apple State. I probably pronounced that wrong. I don't know how you pronounce that word. And The Seer. I think they're really good versions on this album. So I think this is one of their best live albums. In there. And their first album in the infamous trilogy, The Seer. Yep. It honestly, I don't know what the hell happened, but ever since 2012, Swans have just been going up in like how good their albums are. Except for 2019 when I had a little blunder there, but that's fine. This is Not Here, Not Now. The fundraiser for To Be Kind. I'm gonna put it here. This has like good versions of To Be Kind, Natalie Neal, a combination of The Seer and Bring the Sun to Saint Liberty from this album together into a 44-minute masterpiece. Yeah. And then we have To Be Kind, which is no, I think it should be down there. Again, I'm probably gonna get more hate from this because this is probably the most fan favorite of all the fan favorite albums from Swans. I mean, it's iconic. Screenshot is like an iconic song in their catalog, as well as A Little God in My Hands, as well as Bring the Sun. That I think the second disc, I listened to the CD version, is quite good as well, with Oxygen, the title track, and Custard Supine. I have not heard the Oxygen EP, but from what I heard, it was like a terrible idea. Like, because they shortened. What they did was shorten Oxygen to like a 4-minute single, as if it was going to get any commercial success in the first place. And it has like a Primavera live recording, which isn't as good as the original studio version, an acoustic version for some reason, and an early version. Which, why? I think it's a really good thing that Swans never do this again, because like I just think it was just not. Everyone just agrees it was not a great idea in the first place. Right now we have their fundraiser for the Glowing Man, The Gate. I think this has a good version of Frankie M, although I think the 30 minute I think is a little bit much, as well as the one for a combination of Bring the Sun and the title track for the Glowing Man, which back then it was called the Black Eyed Man. I like the version of Little Gun in My Hands, Just a Little Boy as well. Yeah, it doesn't do much for me. I'm probably going to put it here. Yeah, definitely going to ruffle some feathers with that one. Right, another fan favourite, The Glowing Man. I'm probably going to put it here. Yeah, the trilogy is like phenomenal. Now like a hexology with the newest 3 albums. Like, I cannot describe how good these albums are. If you have the patience, listen to these albums, because like I was like overwhelmed when I first heard these. And we have the Glowing Man live album, Deliquescence, and it was their longest album up until 2024, where they released a live rope, which I'll get to in a second. This one was a fan favourite by many, but it didn't really click with me as much as other people did. I'm probably going to put it here. Look at that, under this Glowing Man, how nice. But yeah, it was, I think it was quite good. I really liked the live version of Screenshot and the exclusive, The Man Who Refused to Be Unhappy, and the Glowing Man on this album was like people usually probably don't like this live version because it doesn't have the bring the song reference, but I think it sounds better without. I don't care what people says. This was the demo album to Phrase Month's Leaving Meaning. I haven't heard this, but I haven't heard any of the demo recordings because I just feels wrong hearing them without buying the record itself. Just, yeah. And now we have 2019's Leaving Meaning, which took a more country laid-back sound. This one isn't much. I do remember The Hanging Man, The Nub, and It's Coming As Real, which was the single, but that's it. I'm gonna put it here. No, here. This could be a fan favorite for me as well, but yeah. There's another demo one, so yeah, don't come on. Right, The Beggar. I don't know. I don't know if this was controversial release or not. I can't remember. I mean, I wasn't even a fan then. I only became a fan when like Live Rope was released. I think this was a quite good album, although I didn't like as many tracks as it was in the trilogy. But I quite liked The Parasite, Paradise Is Mine, Los Angeles Sea of Death. The title track was I thought was quite good. I quite like the 43-minute The Bigger Lover 3. That's all the tracks I like, so I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, here. Live Rope. This is just wow. Live. I heard the USB version through other means. It was like 3 hours long. Although on first listen I was like really overwhelmed by like the sound of everything. Over time I got to like tracks like Rope, the 55-minute long The Beggar, Birthing, Away, and more recently the second disc, as you can see on the USB, like The Memorious was probably one of the most emotional singing of Heather Huff and Gerard in his entire like career. Like, and all that. The Hanging Man is the live version of this for The Hanging Man is probably the best version of The Hanging Man I've ever heard. If you don't like the one on here, listen to the one on The Hanging Man on this one, because it was like it's like a proper post-rock Swans song like the trilogy. We have their most recent release, Birthing, the last post-rock Big Sound album. I'm gonna put it here between The Glowing Man and The Seer. Birthing, I was in Portugal at the time with my family when this released. I was blown away by tracks like The Healers, the title track, and I Am a Tower, which was a single, The Merge, Rope Away. Almost every track blew me away except for Guardian Spirit and Red Yellow. But those were the shortest tracks on here anyway, so like... and so, yeah, that's my tier list for Swans. And, yeah, that's it. I hope this video does well, for Christ's sake.